Hi, it's Steve, your veteran with PTSD travels. Just doing a quick little preamble for the videos, starting with why I'm doing it for me. This is my healing journey, and that's what it's really all about. So on that note, it's a healing journey. Let's try to keep the the negative comments, sorry, to a minimum. And if we could also avoid politics talk, that'd be great. I'm not going to answer questions about what caused my PTSD or anything like that. I'm looking to the future, not the past, which is the first step. So, yeah, why don't you follow me on my journey? Thanks. Hey, me again, Steve, the veteran with PTSD, traveling. What was the name? Anyways, that guy. Update. So my first trip after I was able to start flying again. So there'll be some backstory there. Got injured at work flying in the military. I'm not going to go deep into this because I don't really want. Here's the reason. It's not important how or why someone develops PTSD. The why and the how are inconsequential after the fact. So let's not worry about people and, go ahead and look at victim blaming or anything like that. And it's not just for me. This goes for everybody with PTSD or any other kind of mental health, injury. It doesn't matter how it happened. It happened. And that's where I'm at. I've decided to start sharing my recovery and how I'm dealing with having PTSD. So how it happened doesn't matter. Where I'm going with life, that's what really matters, right? So I was in the military for a number of years, flying on planes as a flight engineer, and here I am, 5 years since I was injured. Actually, just over 5 years. It doesn't matter. Sorry. And there's your first intro to a guy with PTSD. I started thinking about it and I immediately got put back in that moment. And now even though it's like it's got to be minus 12 or 15 with the wind chill out here right now. It is, I'm sweating now. So there's the first physiological thing that you'll see, like I spaced off. Oh. It's hard, man. Anyways, so yeah, there's some history there, obviously. Got injured at work, flying. Yes, before anybody asks, I have a claim in Veterans Affairs Canadian Veterans Affairs is helping me out. And it's one of those things where I recognized that I needed help. And I had to reach out for it. In fact, I only reached out for the injury that I had, the physical injury that I had, which is what caused me to be released from the military. And I didn't even know that I had PTSD until my case manager, godsend of a woman, she, during our first interview, she actually asked me when my psych eval was going to be for my when I was going to put the application in for PTSD. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have PTSD. Most of us don't know. And so she said, oh, okay. I just left it at that. She's not her first rodeo. She's dealt with this before. She then just asked me some very basic questions on my physical injury and how it happened and everything like that. And I was just like, I started to tell you how things happened. She just asked me, what happened with your injury? Tell me about it. And I started to bawl. I broke down because every feeling, every emotion, everything that happened to me just came rushing back. And I couldn't deal with the overwhelming pouring of emotions and feelings and everything, that just so many things, right? there's other pieces along that puzzle, but that's the gist of it. So then my wife, Michelle, another godsend of a woman, who is actually with God now. She passed away 14 months ago, just over 14 months ago. And so she just kept talking with my case manager. And then next thing you know, I came back into the room after I had calmed down, so many minutes later. And I interrupted their conversation, and I just said, how do I apply for this, for that PTSD award? Turns out it's very easy to do if you can do the paperwork. One of the things that was an issue for me was, just like right now, I had to relive like during that interview, I had to relive the incident that caused it, incident or incidences, right? And then telling you guys now, same thing. And then all of a sudden, I still had to do paperwork, and the paperwork, you have to go right into it. So that's what I was doing. It took me months actually to do that, to submit that claim, because I was broken. Every time I did it, I would either have a mental breakdown, or an anxiety breakdown, or an anxiety attack, or something like that. And it took me a long time to get it done, but I eventually did. I don't know where I was going with all that. I got distracted. I get distracted by the retelling of the PTSD. Anyways, I know where I was supposed to go. Supposed to go to my first trip. My first trip was Italy. After I was able to start flying. So I was injured flying. It took me a long time and a lot of therapy to be able to start flying. And I had wanted to go flying for a long time, don't get me wrong. I actually really liked flying with work. It's probably really windy here. Hopefully you can hear this. So it was really bad for the longest time. And then after my wife passed, she actually had wanted to go on trips herself. She couldn't go on trips because she was she wasn't doing well. She was sick. That's a different story. It's a different story for another video. Her best friend was in Italy, and I was trying to go away for a few weeks, and I kept making plans and canceling, and I couldn't go anywhere, and I couldn't figure out why. And the breakdown, just 1 second, let my dog in the house, it's cold out here. Once I broke it down to, I wasn't safe. I wasn't going to be safe anywhere I went. So not being safe and not feeling safe was a bit of a trigger for PTSD. Everyone has different triggers. Everybody has different things. Turns out that's one of mine. Not feeling safe or feeling comfortable, or trust. Trust is another big one. And not having anybody in the area that I was going to is what was causing me to not go. Fast forward to October of 23, I finally made a call to my late wife's best friend in Italy. Her and her husband are living in Italy at the moment. And I asked her if she wanted company, and she said, heck yeah. So it was 4 days later. I said, I'm done doing this. And obviously it took a very long time, remember, and a lot of therapy, and I jumped on the plane and I flew to Italy. That was my first trip in 5 years after being injured, and it was over a year since I had been released from the military. It was 10 months since my wife had passed. Like, a lot of different things were going on, obviously. But so they welcomed me with open arms, and it's exactly what I needed to start the ball rolling of being able to start going places. This is kind of a boring one. There's not really going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. Hopefully in the future, my videos are going to be in places. I plan on going back to Antigua. that's next video. I'll do an update. I'll tell you about Antigua and a boat. And then I'm going to, and then, yeah, that's the next video. But eventually, I'm hoping in a few weeks' time, I want to go to, I want to actually get back down to Antigua as a vacationer instead of a boat buyer. That's maybe a preview for the next video. All right, I'm going back in. It's freezing cold out. I didn't want to do it outside. I wanted to be outside. I do my best talking when I'm staring at the woods and the trees and the snow, even though it's freezing cold. I will sign off for now.